Hello there, everyone. Today we're going to do this. This is a fairly famous Danish fly for sea trouts, but I think this will probably work for salmon and a lot of other stuff as well. This is an imitation of a ragworm, a small ragworm, and it's made by a Dane whose name was Kent Bunde Larsen. He was a very nice gentleman, and I had the pleasure of speaking with him a lot of many times over the phone. But regretfully, he has passed on. So I really wanted to do this because it's a great fly that deserves some credit because it really works well. This fly is fairly simple. On paper, but to get this to look good is difficult. Basically, it's some flashaboo, then dubbing and 3 hackles made from a golden pheasant, the reddish feathers on those. So I'm gonna take a hook. This is an Arex traditional shrimp in size 8. It's a fairly these Arex traditional shrimp are fairly large have a fairly long wire compared to their sizes. So size 8 is probably what is about the same length as a normal standard size 6. Using a red tying thread because the head on this fly needs to be red. And the first thing we need to do is to tie in a small bundle of crystal flash, a scent flash here. So I'm gonna do that. And these the type of fly with 3 hackles is something that really has been proven time and time again to be very efficient for trouts in general, but also for salmon. I caught a lot of fish on a 3-hackled fly this year, a lot of salmons, but also a lot of the Danish and the sea trout patterns in general is made with 3 hackles. You can mention the Brenda and the raccoon and a load of other flies. Brenda's mother, just to mention some. So I'm gonna take a small bundle of dubbing here and just make a small section of the body here before I apply the first hackle. This is to give the fly a more proper look. So like that, and then I'm gonna take my hackles, and what you want to do is if you have one of these golden pheasant furs here, you want to have feathers that are from the shoulders because they have the best length for something like this. So I take one of these reddish brownish feathers here, and I pull off all the woolly part, and then I take the tip here. And I simply just fold all the fibers here back without pulling them off. So I get a hackle that looks like this. Then I'm going to tie this down so the most colorful part of this is pointing towards me, pointing towards your chest here. Because when you turn the hackle, then everything will be in the right place if you do it like this. Cut that off. And as I was saying, really a lot of very successful flies have these have 3 hackles, and it's a composition that is really entering my box more and more, both for salmon but also for sea trout. Oh, sorry about that. That's my alarm. Sorry about that. And what you want to be sure is for this fly, you do not want it to be too overdressed. So about that amount of hackle is sufficient. Like so. Gonna cut this off. Fold everything back, and as you can see, now when you tie down the hackle correctly in the beginning, then it's very much easier to get the hackle to be where you want it to, and have that natural curve pointing backwards. As I said, this fly is fairly simple. It does not, basically now it's just some dubbing, a hackle, some dubbing and a hackle. But it is a bit difficult to get this fly to look absolutely right. And because it's difficult to tie these reddish golden pheasant feathers, and the key to this is actually to pick out your feathers very, very closely and very selectively. So you get the right size of hackles, and also you get the properties and the proportions of the fly correct. So what I need to do is now to build a body that is gradually taping, so it's gradually becoming thicker as I move along the hook shank here. And also, for some reason, it seems to be kind of like a law, kind of like the law of gravity, that if you want to have a hackle on the middle of your fly to appear to be on the middle of your fly like this, then you actually have to tie it down a bit further along the shank than the middle. So I don't know why that is. Maybe it's because when you're turning the hackle, you actually accidentally push it a bit further behind or something like that. But in order for the hackle to appear to be in the middle of the hook, you actually need to tie it a bit further up than the middle. Yeah, but it's strange, but that is how it is. So as you can see now, my thread appears to be a bit further up the hook shank than the exact middle, and that is where I want it. So I'm going to take another of these hackles. Again, exactly the same way to do it as I did the first time. Not much hocus pocus or magic to that. Not much trick to that. Like this, tying this down here. Fold everything back whilst I turn. Gonna cut this away, fold everything back, tie a bit on top of it to make sure that I force it in the right direction, and I force it down like so. This actually looks very, very nice. Then some more dubbing, and the dubbing is Sinew Fusion dubbing, the colored tobacco, that really, really complements the color of these hackles phenomenally. And this last section needs to be a bit thicker than the previous one, in order to give it the right properties, the right proportions. Really a nice fly. I really enjoy tying this one. And as you can see, as I predicted, this looks like it's completely in the middle of the fly now. Even though it was a bit further up the hackle, up the stem of up the hook shank. Up the hook shank. Yeah. The last feather now. And as I said, these three hackles have this almost mythical, magical ability to catch fish, to catch trout. So if you have... Oh, bugger. My hackle broke, so just have to reverse a bit, tie a few turns backwards, and then see if I can get it sorted. If I can save this hackle. It's a nice hackle, so I really want to save this one. I saved it. Woohoo! These three hackled flies, as I said, has almost magical appeal to trout. And loads of Danish sea trout flies and salmon flies in general have this. So if you have a good pattern that is normally tied with a palmer hackle, you should try convert it into a 3 hackle fly to see if there is any difference, because it really looks awesome in the water with these 3 hackles moving differently at different currents and stuff like that. I really believe that it has an effect. At least in my mind, it's something that I'm just telling myself. I don't know, but a lot of fishing is that you're telling yourself a lot of stuff that is mostly more superstition than anything else. And well, basically there you have it. Of the 3 ones I did just now, this is probably the best one. So I'm very pleased with this. Then you make your whip finish. Really, this turned out really great. I don't have to use my dubbing brush or anything on this to get the hackles to stay in the right place. Then I add a bit of varnish. Gotta love these varnish bottles that already has the needle in there. Like so, a bit of varnish, and then you're done. The Omo Børste is what it's called in Danish. If you should translate that would translate into a small island no one has ever heard of in Denmark, ragworm, approximately. As always, thank you for watching, and if you enjoyed this video, remember to subscribe to the channel, and also swing by my web shop for all the materials. I have a complete kit for this fly that is basically a package of all the materials used here. So if you like this fly, you can simply just click in the corner here and order a package. So thank you for watching, and remember, if you like this, to comment and share this with the rest of the world. That would make me very happy. Thank you so much for watching.